how quickly can you get good at something? The saying is that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, but I'm here to tell you that it takes a lot less than you think it does. This guy here, this is DiResta, and you might know him from the Netflix show Making Fun.
We can build anything.
Or if you're into making stuff, you definitely would have seen one of his videos online. He's basically a legend in the maker world. And here I've just handed Jimmy a hand-cut dovetail joint that I made. And here's the thing though, a year before I'd made it, I'd never made a single one in my life. So to explain how we ended up here, we need to go back a few years in time. Today is the 1st of January 2022, and I've set myself a challenge of cutting dovetails every day for the whole year. My plan is by the end of the year, I'll be able to cut the perfect dovetail joint by hand. This is a dovetail joint. It's a decorative and strong way to join two pieces of wood together, and normally used in furniture making, but not the flat pack kind. And being able to cut them by hand is like earning your black belt in woodworking. It was always something that I wanted to be able to do, and for some reason I had subconsciously told myself that I'd never be able to do it. And remember this point because we are going to come back to it. But this isn't really a video about woodworking. Okay, there's woodworking involved, but what I actually want you to take away from this is something much, much bigger. What I'm going to show you is just how quickly you can get good at something, at anything, when you ignore that voice in your head that's telling you that you won't be good enough, and you just start. So that's exactly what I did. I just started. On the 1st of January, I told myself I was going to practice cutting this joint every day for a year. I started with a pretty rubbish saw. I had blunt chisels, a pencil and a ruler, and that's it. And on my first attempt, I cut the wrong parts out of the joint so that it wouldn't go together. Pretty much the worst possible failure you could do. Getting it wrong or failing doesn't naturally feel good, and I think this is why most people give up with trying new things. They try once or twice and don't see the results that they want, so they tell themselves it's because they're not very good and they'll never be good enough and that they can't do it. And that dream of mastery just fades away. So how do you overcome this hurdle? Well, we'll get to that. But first, as you're watching this, tell me in the comments, what's one thing that's on top of your mind right now that you've always wanted to be able to do? Saying it out loud or committing to it publicly is the first step you need to take, and I strongly urge you to push yourself out of your comfort zone and take that step right now. Let me know in the comments. And you're probably thinking that you don't have time to learn anything new right now and that life's too busy. And although this is true, I would encourage you to challenge that belief, because you will always find 100 reasons not to do something. Most days for me, I found the best time to practice was early in the morning before anyone in my house was awake. I could just set an alarm early and get up and do 20 minutes of practice before the day even starts. So this is me doing just that. I'm in my shed in my pajamas, trying not to wake up the neighbours. My early attempts at the joint, despite my best efforts, were pretty rough. But the key to all of it for me was not to give up. I ignored how bad they were and I kept practicing and made sure I did not miss a day. As you can imagine, I learned quite a few things along the way, such as the importance of having sharp tools and how to sharpen them. I learned things like how to build jigs to speed up workflow, and slowly over time I invested in better and better tools. I've got myself a dovetail tenon saw. Whoops. And I started to see how to fine tune the small things that make a big difference with this joint. The square I was using wasn't actually square. I've now got something that is square, and you can tell that they're slightly out. So you're probably thinking to yourself, what happened if I was away from home or if I went on holiday? And as it happened that year, I had a trip planned to Australia to visit family. And I had put so much time into this challenge at this point that I couldn't afford to break my streak. So the best thing I could think of was to pack up my essential tools and take them with me. So when I got there, I borrowed a workspace that I could use on the other side of the world and carried on practicing. Here's what I noticed. By the time I had around 100 joints under my belt, they were looking pretty good. And I've put about 40 hours of practice into it by this point. Nowhere near 10,000 hours. And I'm still making mistakes. And that point is really important because you never really stop making mistakes. They just become less dramatic and you figure out how to hide them. But now, as I'm in a routine of practicing and the joints are looking pretty good, the next hurdle came up and bit me. I was getting bored of this challenge. So at this point, I could have given up. I could have said that I can cut a half decent dovetail joint and call it a day. But my original challenge to myself was not to learn how to make a half decent dovetail joint. It was to find out how good I could get if I practiced every day for a year. That was it. So I had to mix things up and make it more challenging for myself to overcome the boredom of it. There's this thing called the Goldilocks rule of learning, where if a task is too easy or too difficult, you'll have little motivation for it. The sweet spot in the middle, or the Goldilocks zone, is where the challenge or the task gives the most motivation. And at this point here, I was slipping down that slope on the boredom side. I had to make it more challenging. So it was at this point that I decided to start experimenting with different types of joint to keep the challenge interesting enough to keep me going. So as the year went on, I practiced with different variations on sizes, different colors, different wood species, different angles, inlays, boxes, nested boxes, nested pyramid boxes, until eventually I had my sights set on the ultimate finale, the Japanese sunrise dovetail. Now, if you're into woodworking, you'll know what this is. In my opinion, it's the holy grail of hand-cut joinery, and when it's done right, it looks so good. It's like a sunrise coming up over the corner of the wood. So this was my finale. This was what I decided I was going to end the year on. And you can see here just how nervous I was to make that first cut. The first thing I did was make a pretty big mistake. This is me screaming in silence because it's like 6 o'clock in the morning and I started to cut through one of the pieces that I wasn't meant to cut through. It was a very time-consuming joint to make, so I couldn't do it all in the 20-minute slot that I gave myself. I had to come back to the same joint on multiple days. It took me 4 attempts to take me to the end of the year, and this is my 4th attempt at the Japanese sunrise dovetail joint. There's about 3 hours of work in this one joint alone. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a nice trophy to show what 1 year of practice really can achieve. After the year ended, I had finished my challenge, so I took a well-earned break. And a funny thing happened. That break just carried on. And I never went back to it. And looking back, I think I framed my goal wrong. I'd tied it all to a finish line, to practice every day for a year. So when that year was over, the habit just died with it. That was until one day recently I got the chance to meet DiResta at an event. And all of a sudden I'm starting to think that maybe I should dust off these joints to show him. Maybe I should see if I can still do it, and maybe this story is worth sharing with the internet. So now it's been 2 years since I cut my last dovetail joint. I've not picked up a tool in that time, and I'm a little bit nervous to know how well I've remembered the process or if I've forgotten it all.
Oh yes. Oh, it's been a while. Ah, the wrong side of the line. Oh, not too shabby.
So now it's time to pack up my joints and show them to a man who knows a thing or two about making stuff.
Let's see. Day one.
Yeah.
Do they go together? No.
No, I cut the wrong bits out. Day 128.
Wow. Wow, you've sharpened your chisel.
Sharpened chisels, better saw.
That looks incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks good. This looks good.
It looks better, doesn't it, with the two-tone? Different angles.
So that was showing off. And day one, you hadn't done them ever.
Never touched. No.
Good work.
This was the final.
Oh shit. That's finished and glued.
Yeah, that's glued. Yeah.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Really beautiful.
Thank you.
So I want to leave you with the most important points that I learned on this journey in hopes that it will encourage you to start that thing that you haven't yet started. As bad as it feels, if you really want to learn something, you have to make mistakes. You have to get it wrong. The lessons are in the failures, not in the successes. And if that feels just too uncomfortable and you just can't bring yourself to getting it wrong, then my advice to you would be to start practicing getting things wrong. Get comfortable with making mistakes. Use the Goldilocks rule, because that will honestly unlock everything. Since doing this challenge, I drill this into my children all the time when they tell me they can't do something. And that is, you are what you say you are. Whatever you tell yourself, you will believe. If you tell yourself you're not good with your hands or you can't do something, you will believe it. And because you believe it, you won't end up trying. So next time you hear yourself saying that you can't do something, just take a minute to reframe it. Tell yourself that you can, that you can't do it yet, and that you can learn how to. And just take note of how that changes the outcome. It sounds simple, and it can be. There will always be reasons to wait a bit longer, to put things off, or for that perfect moment. That will never really come around. So what was it that you wrote in the comments earlier? What was it that you wanted to learn? Go back to that comment and tell me what's stopping you. My promise to you is that I will read every single one and I will reply to as many as I can. You can start today, start messy, start with what you have. The only way you'll truly fail is if you give up. So does it take 10,000 hours to master something? Well, maybe it does, but maybe mastery is not what we're going for. To be good at something, to be better than most, I don't think you need 10,000 hours. From my experience, 100 reps got me pretty close. Thank you so much for watching to the end. As you can imagine, this was quite a big video for me to put together. If you want to see more like this, then don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.